and I started coming to the Sons and Rains Ranch just over a year ago. Sherry also was one who brought me here. The monthly women's fellowships and the sessions I have done have been life-altering, but I really want to share the first event that I attended here because it just completely opened my heart and gave me a place to heal. I am a pro at being invisible. At least it feels that way. People rarely seem to acknowledge or see me. I learned how to lower my head and tuck in my arms, and the world can pass in my peripheral vision, arms muttering, sorry, excuse me, as I move around others, and I never really expect to be seen. The number one rule of being invisible is to never cause a scene. The number two rule of being invisible is you're going to figure it out quickly and on your own and as quietly as you possibly can. I have learned how not to be invisible, but as with any habit, it's one of the things that surface easily when I am in a new situation. That Saturday was also my first ever EAL session. There were 15 to 20 women in here, 4 horses, and at least 3 or 4 dogs, and they were super excited to be a part of it. We had to get all of the animals into heaven that day. There was a weird winding path and a box over about where I'm standing, and we had to get them in heaven without touching them. Couldn't touch the horses. There are a lot of distractions and many frustrations, and I eventually found myself about here in the back corner. The bar wall and round pins at my back, at least 2 of the horses in front of me, along with a dog or 2, and I was trapped with no easy way out. After all, the rest of the ladies were trying to keep them all in heaven. I do not do well being trapped. It is a huge issue for me. So trying to avoid panic, I tried to follow the rules of invisibility, but not feeling confident to push past the horses, and certainly unsure of my ability to quietly, discreetly, or calmly launch myself over the panels. I didn't have any other way to escape. Lord, help me, I prayed. Head down, arms tucked in. Lord, I don't like this. Please help me. Finally, they said they were done with the exercise, but the horses were perfectly content to stay where they were. Tears started to brim because panic had won. But then eye contact was made. Rhonda was asking me if I was okay. A shake of my head because words weren't there, but I had been seen. Her arms came out, she gave me a hug, and another person noticed me and my plight, and I was gently guided out of the area, one on each side of me. I was seen, I was accepted, and I wasn't judged. So this is what it's like to be seen? It seemed like one of the very few times in my life that I was seen in a good way. No cutting comments, no jokes made at my expense, no criticism, and no judgment. Life is messy, even as a Christian, and the number of Christians I have been around who only ever want to display or see perfect lives has been most of my experience. But that's not what I experienced that day, or any day that I've been here for Women's Fellowship or my own EAL sessions. While women still may be cautious, unsure of how others will perceive them when they share their story, they still share, and there is nothing but raw, honest truth shared with a huge serving of God's love. I have heard testimony after testimony of how God is at work in their hearts and lives, as well as those around them, with their children, their family and friends, hardships and death, suicide, abuse of all kinds, and so much more that everybody's working through. And yet God keeps showing up. He keeps working in people's lives, touching them, and bringing healing. It's truly a miracle to be seen, heard, and accepted. And that has been one of the most meaningful things that I have experienced here when I come.